What's up, y'all? Zinbad here, and I am gonna go over today's patch notes with you. This is September 5th. This was the nerf to the invasion dungeons and the buff to the seasonal progression with a little bit of other random stuff thrown in. Let's get into it. So they nerfed the symbols in the Order of Truth dungeon. There's not 6 anymore. Now there's only 4. You've got X, triangle, circle, square. Easy to remember. All the pillars now face the inside of the arena. All the pillars have a symbol on them now. The tumors don't regenerate after you shoot them. They take 3 hits instead of 5 now. So if you've got that seasonal upgrade, that's 2 hits. They adjusted the path of the drone and the movement speed, so it's, I guess, slower and more predictable now. I don't really know what the big deal was with the drone, but they changed that. They made the symbols above the drone, so they will be vertical now instead of horizontal, which is fine. They reduced the number of hits needed to destroy the tumor on the door from 3 to 2, so you can clear it with 1 weapon usage. You won't have to go through and activate another drone to get another gun. They increased the range and firing rate of the inversion energy emitter. So they sped up the gun and they gave it more range. I did encounter an issue in the Heart of the Fortress invasion dungeon the other day where I was outside of the range and ended up missing the boss multiple times and had to go through the whole cycle again just to get another gun. It was kind of annoying, so I'm glad they boosted the range. There was apparently a bug where you could break the gate without the gun. They increased the melee monster spawn rate. That feels like a random thing for them to increase there. Like, why? Why that exactly? I don't know. But all that's fine. The pillar dungeons should be a lot smoother now. So if you were having trouble with those should be easy peasy. Maybe I'll make a guide on the new mechanics. I don't know if you really need one now. I feel like they're pretty straightforward now. Anyway, for the Legion of Immortality dungeon, this is the one with the brains where you would go get kills, pick up the drops, go dunk them. They removed the time limit for brain input after the first supply. They changed the amount of brains that have to be supplied to 20. I want to say that was 45 before. And you could hold 15, so you needed 3 deposits of 15. Might not have been 45. It might have been a little under that. But now you can hold 10 and you need to dunk 20. So you only need 2 full stacks to dunk and move on. They moved the location of the phase separation veil generator near the computing unit in battles with named monsters. Not sure exactly what that is, but that's a thing. Legion of Darkness dungeon, that's the plate one. They adjusted the tile positions to make them easier to identify. They reduced the capture time on them down to 3 seconds. I do like that, actually. Simplified the color and symbols on the arcade tiles and reduced the number from 6 to 4. Adding symbols is good because of the same issue as finding the encrypted vaults before, but slightly different. So if somebody was colorblind, the plates would be kind of problematic before because they were all the same symbol, just different colors. So if you're like red-green colorblind, you're just going to have to guess. But now that we've got symbols, that's not an issue. There's only 4 symbols and colors now for the tiles instead of 6. They removed the bombers that would destroy the tiles and reduce the spawn rate of raiders who would reduce the tile occupancy. Those are the ones that would just come in and capture the plate and take it from you, so you had to go back and capture it again. So that was fine. Changed the symbols to stay on the arcade tiles longer after stepping off the central control unit. Added more central control units to identify arcade tiles more easily in some dungeons. That's fine. Because there was... I feel like there were 1 or 2 dungeons where I would step on the identifying plate and there would be a color that I couldn't see. So I just kind of had to guess, okay, my missing color's over there behind that pillar. I can't see it, but I assume that's the right one. I know there's a plate over there. So that's pretty nice. They fixed the difficulty of named monster patterns. So they reduced the frequency of skill used during immunity. That's nice. That's pretty much what they're going over for all of this. Is just they reduced skill usage and immunity, which is nice. I will say some of those bosses are kind of a pain. So it's good that they did that. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. They removed the use of guided projectile skill and reduced the induction power. Also reduced the beam skill. So in general, they just nerfed all the bosses to make them not quite as bad. Less guided projectiles all around, less skills during immunity phases. So if you were struggling with these invasion dungeons before and not enjoying them, I would say give them another shot. They're good money. It's 1.2 million gold for every clear. That's a good 5 million gold every day if you clear all 4. If you need the Haley pieces, they did buff the Haley piece drop rates, so you can get 20 guaranteed Haley pieces now from the invasion dungeons a day. So 5 if you get gold, 4 for silver, and 3 for bronze, whereas it was 3, 2, 1 before, respectively. So you still want to go for gold. And with the nerfs in general, gold should be a good bit easier. So if you get to the boss and you think you're going to miss gold, just close out and restart the mission if you really want those Haley pieces. The gold rewards are not dependent on your medal status. So you can get bronze and still get your 1.2 mil. So just keep that in mind. If you don't need Haley, just get your clears and get your money. They buffed the inversion reinforcement. Kind of. I've already looked over these, and some of them are nice. Some of them are still, why would you go for these? So biodensity augmentation now is probably my go-to in that row. We get 9.5% max HP for 30 seconds, up to 5 stacks when defeating an enemy. You've got the same concept for shields, same concept for MP. That still reduces skill range, but a total of 5% skill range reduction for 20% max MP is not terrible. There's a defense one. Then you've got the elemental ones, which are a good bit better, but I'm still kind of wondering why you would run those a lot. I don't know if the next Colossus is going to be very elemental heavy, but I don't know if I want to waste an equipped perk on that. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So you've got 6.5% fire resist for 3 seconds, up to 2 stacks after reload. Part of my issue with these is like flame resist after reload for 3 seconds. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna like reload to protect myself from the flame chain on Pyromaniac? Like, oh, I see the chain coming, I can't get out of the way, let me reload real quick. I don't know about that. For chill, we've got 9.8% chill resist, up to 2 stacks on hitting an enemy with a firearm. I mean, that one's easy, but it's like, yeah, you've got to be actively shooting to be getting that chill resist. As soon as you quit shooting, those stacks are falling off. Toxic, you get those while aiming. Like, they're not nothing, I will say. They're better than they were. But I think they just fall off too fast. Like, I already don't care a crazy amount about elemental resistance. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more interested in having more health and defense than I am elemental resistance. I understand it's relevant sometimes, but I don't think that these are. I don't think that any of the elemental resistance ones are worth it, honestly. But they did get better. So if you like the elemental resistance ones, go for it. The inverted defibrillation. So before, if you got hit at 10% HP or less and didn't die, it would consume all your MP and recover some HP. When the effect is triggered, grants HP recovery of between 20 and 50%. And now, how is that different? Consumes all MP to recover HP proportionally to the amount of MP consumed. When the effect is triggered, guarantees HP recovery at least 20% and 50% at max. I don't think that those were the original values. I think there's a typo here. I don't think those were the original values. Anyway, I'm still not a big fan of that one because you're losing all of your MP to gain a little bit of health. Like, I can't think of any situations that I would really want to lose all of my MP just to get a little bit of health back. I don't see it. I really don't. Selective neurostimulation is great. It's probably the best perk that we've got out of all of these seasonal buffs. So before, you had a 60, 30, and 10 respective percent chances every 60 seconds for MP recovery. And you had a 10% chance of a little bit of HP recovery. Well, now we've gone from 8.9 to 13.4, from 15.6 to 23.5, from 20.1 to 30.2. And we get a little bit more HP from 5.2 to 7.8. So basically, it's just free MP. Why would you not want to run that? This one is probably the best perk that we've got for the season. Unless you're a Glay main, in which case, well, it's not for you. It's not for you then. Unless you're going to pray to get that 10% chance to recover some max HP. but that's on you. We got recovery maneuver. So before you had an increased incoming damage modifier, that's gone now. RK assimilation gives 4% more max HP when standing near a teammate. It's not bad. I don't hate that one. On firearm crit hit, it was an 18% chance. Now it's a 27% chance to remove debuffs for 3 seconds and grant debuff immunity for the duration. Before it was a 5-minute cooldown. 300 seconds. Now it's only a minute. That's good. I would actually consider running that now. A minute cooldown to get rid of all my debuffs and give me debuff immunity for a little bit. I'm fine with that. Pretty much every firearm I run has decent crit, so that's viable now. When below 20% HP in intercept battles, gain 20% move speed for 3 seconds. Before you lost damage. Not sure why they thought that was a thing people would ever want to run. Now it's passable. I would consider running that. I'm not sure which row that's in, but it's a maybe. Then you've got your Legion of Immortality, Order of Truth, Legion of Darkness, damage modifier reductions. They drop the cooldown on each of those from 25 seconds to 15 seconds. Let's see. During intercept battles, grants void defense optimization every 150 seconds. This decreases incoming damage modifier by... That was 1.8% up to 3 stacks. Now it's 2.7% up to 3 stacks. Still every 150 seconds. That's every 2.5 minutes. Do you care? Maybe. Maybe. RK tiles give more defense when you stand on them now. Max of 3 stacks. This was a max of 5 stacks. But it's more of a defense increase in a shorter period of time. Excava. This is still kind of trash because Excava is not in a good place. They need to buff Excava. It sucks right now. So you can run this if you're a delusional Excava main. I don't blame you because the gun feels good and I want to run assault rifles, but the damage just isn't there. So yeah, instead of 35% extra firearm attack for 2 seconds, it's 51% for 2 seconds. But it's just not a good enough gun for that to even be a drop in the bucket. Sadly. RK Pacemaker got updated, so it now reduces skill cost by 25%, reduces range by 5%, and fire rate by 5%. So we got an additional 5% skill cost reduction. Unconsciousness does not have a cooldown now. So before it was a 3.5 minute cooldown. Now just all the time when all skills are on cooldown, the cooldown of your next skill used is reduced by 8%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's relevant for like every character, I think, probably. Maybe not every character, but it's relevant. It's a good perk. It's a good perk. So they also increased some module things. So shield increase of overwhelming shield has been increased to 26.8% of max HP. HP increase of overwhelming HP has been increased to 19.8% of max shield. Those are fine. They nerfed Pyro. And at first glance, I was questioning it. However, I think I understand now. So they decreased the defense and HP of Pyro in standard and hard intercept battles. They also decreased the HP and shield of the hummingbirds, which appear in Executioner and Pyro intercept battles. So, as somebody that is built now and has a few hundred hours in the game, Pyro's not an issue for me. However, Pyro is still an issue for a lot of people, and it's not like it's one of the last Colossi. So, the reasoning for them nerfing Pyro is because they've got to see a lot of players bouncing off of Pyro and not getting the clears, and then losing those players because they're stuck. I don't know that nerfing Pyro is the answer for that. I think it's just a case of, oh, you hit a little wall, you need to gear up more. But I'm not sure. I will say there's a lot of good stuff behind Pyro. With Pyro having probably the best all-around external component set in the game, he does kind of gatekeep a lot of strong builds. Because if you just want to look at one of the most popular bossers in the game, Lepic, he uses the Slayer set that comes from Pyro. So, like, if you want to build a bosser, you've got to get through Pyro several times. So unless you've got people that are going to drag you through, you kind of just needs a little help starting out. So it doesn't affect the hardcore players, but I think it'll be good for the newer players. I just hope it doesn't end up being a case of now there's players that are completely unprepared that are stuck on the next boss, and it just becomes like a never-ending cycle of, well, let's nerf the boss that people are stuck on and, you know, just keep moving on down the line. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They've got their data. They knew their reasoning for nerfing Pyro. It's not something people really asked for, so it must be data driven on the back end. So it is what it is. I'm fine with it. I need to farm Slayer anyway, so you know, it's cool. It's cool. Kill score for defeating monsters in Magister Lab, Unknown Lab, and Quarantine Zone has been increased and shortened the time to interact with objects. So anything that's like, hold X, hold square, you'll interact with that faster now. Not exactly sure why they buffed the kill score for like Magister Lab, because I've never seen a Magister Lab clear that was on 250 and didn't get a double. I don't know. I don't know. But they did that. Then we got some bug fixes. These are things that I had not encountered. Missions have been adjusted to start only after entering the large-scale outpost barricade. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about. What is this? Okay. Fixed an issue where summoning a turret within Jaber's turret zone with a module affecting skill effect range equipped, the turret zone would not expand as it should due to the range module. So Jaber's turrets have proper range modding now. That's nice. Fixed an issue where if Jaber has the turret engineering module equipped, the turret engineering skill could duplicate turret zones. I don't know what the bug there was, but that's the thing. That's the thing. So anyway, overall, they nerfed the puzzles, they nerfed the bosses for invasion dungeons. We got more Haley research materials. Pyro's easier. Inversion reinforcement is marginally better. They're looking forward to adding multiplayer to the invasion dungeons, which is nice. Looking forward to that. What else did they... one of the major changes for this season has been that the usage of the hard infiltration op has seen a significant increase since the season update. The rise in participation stems from increased activity by those farming Haley in the infiltration op and improved reward efficiency. The dev team hopes that the infiltration operation will become an important farming location and is prepared to make adjustments to some sections with traps to provide a better gameplay experience. Finally, in the second update scheduled for October 10th, we plan on introducing infiltration operations of the highest difficulty. We will continue to incorporate your feedback to ensure an even more engaging and fun battle experience. So, all in all, pretty good patch. Not perfect. I don't really know what they could have done to the inversion reinforcement to really make me super satisfied with it and want to grind it. I think they missed the mark with a couple of these changes, but all in all, I think they did a decent job with buffing these and adjusting them to a more reasonable position. But I definitely hope we get upgrades for next season that are more impactful and affect how the game is played a bit more. I understand they gave us a lot of defensive stuff here in the hopes that we could tune our builds to be more offensive with mods and just like rely on some of this stuff for more support. I don't see that changing the way that I mod anything. I really don't. I would love to see stuff that's like really impactful that changes how I approach gameplay. Either that or just give me stuff that is less conditional power increases. Like the elemental resistances for just like a little brief window of time. Those aren't impactful enough for me to care. Things like that Excava perk. It only applies when you're at max grenade stacks, and then the buff falls off after 2 seconds. So if you don't fire your grenade within that 2-second window, it's just wasted. Like, you're getting a little bit of gun damage bonus, sure. But I don't know. I just don't think it's worth focusing on to take advantage of that boost. So, all in all, if anybody at Nexon sees this, I appreciate the patch. I think these changes to the invasion dungeons are nice. It'll make it so that more players can get through them. I'd like to see some different... I don't even know how to word it. I don't want to say different mechanics, because obviously the mechanics will be different next season. I just want the seasonal activity to be fun and engaging, and ideally I'd like it to be something that we could grind. Like, imagine if we had a new, like, wave defense or a seasonal activity to help you grind out Ironheart particles and, you know, something else. I don't know. Something to think about. Something to think about. They could make the rewards in that extra nice. Maybe it becomes the new best gold farm for that season, you know? Just possibilities. Just possibilities. I could see like a wave-based mission. Think like, think block hypermining and sterile lands, right? What if there were times when you had to like go activate the plates to damage the boss? Or, you know, what if you had like pillars that you had to go destroy to open up a reactor to destroy? I don't know. Lots of options. Lots of options. I'm not saying any of those are good. It's just what came to my mind off the top of my head. So, with all that being said, this has been the Patch Notes. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. It's YouTube. I don't have to tell you. But leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!